That is a huge freaking thing. That is the life you've been waiting for God knows how many incarnations. And you should not take that lightly. You should not push that away just because other people don't understand it. They don't understand it because they are not yet awakened. And I know that sounds very arrogant and very from like a high horse if I say it like that. And it often lands badly with people who don't have a spiritual connection. But that is just the truth. I cannot say that in any other way. I cannot dull my own light and my own truth that could help you to awaken to your truth just because it makes people uncomfortable. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Rooted in the Cosmos, your podcast for all things spiritual leadership, higher consciousness, and New Earth vision. My name is Isabel, I'm your host, and I hope you have a wonderful day on this beautiful Sunday. I post new episodes every Sunday of every week, so if you are not already subscribed to this podcast, make sure to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. I also want to remind you that Rooted in the Cosmos is on YouTube now. And the cool thing is that YouTube has the option to comment. So if you want to share something, if you want to comment something, if you want to connect with others who are listening to the episodes, make sure to go check out Rooted in the Cosmos on YouTube and leave a comment. A couple of weeks ago, I recorded a podcast episode about starseeds. And when I recorded this episode, I once again realized how huge this topic is and how much value it has when you really dive into it. So today, I want to go even deeper into that topic, and I want to talk about the starseed awakening and the phases of this awakening with you. I believe this is something that everyone who ends up working with me or most people in my space are confronted with at one point. I want to say, though, I'm using the term starseed because for me, a starseed is a soul who has consciously chosen to bring in cosmic memory into this life. I know the concept of starseeds is a little bit more complicated than that. And I also know that not everybody resonates with the term starseed. If you don't resonate with the term, stay open and just listen to what I have to say and what this topic is all about, because the term is not what characterizes the soul behind that term. If you don't resonate with the word starseed, use another word or be open to explore what this could mean for you. Basically, what I'm saying is that there is profound cosmic truth in the concept of starseeds. And it's way more complicated than it is made in the mainstream spiritual field, I'll call it that. But it has some truth to it, and it helps you to explore that within you if you are an advanced soul with a mission here. It helps so much to start identifying with not the term starseed, but with the concept behind it. And it also has the possibility to tell you a lot about yourself and a lot about why things are happening or have been happening in your life. So I highly recommend diving into this topic for yourself and listening to this episode with an open mind and with an open heart. A starseed awakening is usually a gradual process in a lifetime of a human who realizes that they are not like the others, in quotation marks. And many things about society and the rules on Earth start to give them the ick and they feel like they don't really belong and they don't really understand those rules because they don't make sense to them. And this doesn't happen from one day to another. It usually happens in a gradual process. Like I just said, it happens in your childhood, in your teenage years, when you find it hard to relate to anyone from a young age on. Starseeds are usually labeled as old souls or advanced souls because by the time they realize their true self, they've lived so many lives on planet Earth and on other planets in other realms and made so many different experiences that this little portion of their soul who came to Earth ages ago has become wise and very old, in quotation marks. So here I want to say a starseed awakening is also always connected with a spiritual awakening. And I just really want to emphasize how a spiritual awakening is nothing casual. It's not just something that is a hobby or that is something quirky about yourself. It's literally something that your soul has been waiting for probably thousands of incarnations. When you as a soul choose to come into an incarnation cycle and you choose to forget who you truly are, that is a decision that is very long lasting and very transformative. So you go into these incarnations and these experiences as humans, as other beings, knowing that you would forget everything. Part of your purpose is to remember and to reconnect with who you truly are. That is one of the rules of the game of life. You have to go into the game not knowing that it is a game and that it is a quote unquote illusion or simulation. And then you have to remember, and that is what self-realization is. You are awakening in this game of life. You are becoming lucid in the dream of life. So when you have a spiritual awakening and you suddenly have all these changes happening in your life and internally, that is a huge freaking thing. That is the life you've been waiting for God knows how many incarnations. And you should not take that lightly. You should not push that away just because other people don't understand it. They don't understand it because they are not yet awakened. And I know that sounds very arrogant and very from like a high horse if I say it like that. And it often lands badly with people who don't have a spiritual connection. But that is just the truth. I cannot say that in any other way. I cannot dull my own light and my own truth that could help you to awaken to your truth just because it makes people uncomfortable. People who do not understand a spiritual awakening are not to judge, but they don't understand it because they haven't experienced it yet. So don't ever let others make you feel like your feelings are not valid or your experience is not real, is not valid, because it's happening for you, it's not happening for them, and they cannot grasp it. It's like not having context for something that they've never experienced. So you are the one experiencing that. And I just want to really emphasize how important a spiritual awakening is and how absolutely not casual that is on a soul level. What we would call the starseed awakening in comparison to a spiritual awakening is that we can describe it as the moment the human with an extraterrestrial soul and with a lot of extraterrestrial connections finds out about the existence of such thing, of starseeds, of extraterrestrial souls, of extraterrestrial parts of your soul. Like this whole concept is what we would call the starseed awakening. So when you basically begin to identify with a non-human part of yourself, with a soul or an aspect of your soul that is not from this earth and that has traveled through the cosmos. For a lot of people, identifying with the term starseed is super helpful, and it's a key element in their journey because they finally feel like there is a name for what they experience and there is a name for how they feel, and they are not alone with that. So that is what I would call the starseed awakening. It is the moment you consciously start to realize, okay, that's a thing. Something is resonating deeply within me when I hear this term or when I hear about this concept. And it's not just me, there's so many others out there having the same experiences, going through the same things. Identifying with this term can also help you to trigger memories and to move forward on your spiritual journey, now knowing that you finally have a word for what you are experiencing. So the Starseed Awakening is basically just the process of allowing yourself to consciously move into that direction and to awaken to the fact that there's a whole concept around this and that it completely fits to you. However, terms like starseeds or star people are heavily ridiculed on Earth. And that's why many of us have a hard time identifying with these terms or using them confidently. That's what I said in the beginning. If you're feeling this way, it's totally fine if you feel like you cannot say that without cringing or without feeling weird about yourself. You don't have to use these terms for yourself. I think it's very empowering to rewrite the story of how we use these terms, because Starseed is nothing super crazy. It's nothing someone crazy came up with. It's a concept that is very real and very true. So the term starseed doesn't evoke any negative connotation for me, but I know that this could be the case for you. So you don't have to use the term starseed, star people, whatever it is, in order to feel connected to the concept or to identify with the overall energy of that. I want to go over the 9 Starseed awakening stages because I feel like you may be in one of them right now, or you've gone through the entire process and you don't know what's going on and you feel like something crazy is happening to you and you don't really know what to do with that. So I think going through a Starseed awakening is one of the most transformative experiences that you can have, especially internally. And it can also be very alienating and isolating because you feel so different and it can happen so fast. It can happen through an experience. It can happen gradually, but still very fast over the span of a year or so. It's usually a process that is very scheduled, I would say. So if your awakening starts and you enter stage 1, it's not that long of a time until you enter stage 2 and just the ball keeps rolling. It's almost the same experience for everyone, of course, with different personal experiences, but the overall experience is very similar. And I feel like you will resonate with these stages. The first stage is life crisis. That is a very challenging stage because you may ask yourself, looking back at your life so far, you may ask yourself, this is it? So you start to question your life, and not just your life, but also society as a whole and the human species as a whole. And you begin to see through the unconscious patterns people are following, and you have a hard time understanding how so many can be satisfied with this typical eat, work, sleep, repeat cycle. If it gets really bad, you may even feel depressed at that stage. So physical, normal life feels annoying and hard for you. And it might even be a reason for you to feel hopeless, powerless, or like I said, depressed. So this can be a very dark time. This is also when a lot of people experience some type of dark night of the soul, when there's a pointlessness in life and in how life is structured for us humans, and we feel like powerless because we cannot do anything about it. The second stage is when your beliefs are challenged. So after this initial phase of breakdown, you start to question everything you've ever been raised to believe. A lot of people do a lot of research at this stage, and they find out that they don't resonate with what they've been told about the world and how the world works. You may even find yourself diving into conspiracy theories, and even if you were skeptic before, you may also realize that not all of them are absolutely crazy and that there is actually something to them, and that not every conspiracy theory is just bullshit. So that is a very intensive time and a very intense experience as you're moving through like the perception change of the world and moving through this information that's out there, and you have to discern whether this is resonating with you, whether this is not resonating with you. A lot of people also lose themselves in conspiracy theories at that stage. So that is very dangerous, actually. I'm not the person to tell you conspiracy theories are BS. I think they're here for a reason, and everyone should make up their own mind. But not every conspiracy theory is valuable. Not every conspiracy theory is coming from a place that makes sense. A lot of them are just planted to stir the pot and to create more chaotic energy. So it's very dangerous to fall into this spiral of seeing the world so negatively that you completely lose hope for the world and for the stage of the world. and fall into this dark pit of conspiracy theories, and you begin to think that everything's evil, every person is evil, every person in power has an evil plan, and that is just not true. Beings of light and pure souls are everywhere. In every corner of the world, there can be found shadow and light. And yes, there may be some things going on, but you can never give your power away by saying everything's doomed, everything has a bigger plan, everything is a conspiracy, and I completely give away my power and just believe that and create that reality for the collective. That is not empowering. And that is what a lot of people are doing when they fall too deep into conspiracy theories. I'm the last person to tell you not to research. I'm the last person to tell you not to think for yourself. But I'm also the first person to tell you that you should always stay connected with your heart, and that positive thinking is way more powerful than giving away your power just because you know some dark truths or because you've awakened to the shadows of the world. They are not everywhere. They are not all that exists. Making us believe that they are all that exists is what makes them more powerful. That is a topic that can go really, really deep. So I don't want to dive in too deep today. But I just want to say, if you fall into this rabbit hole, go for it, research, and make up your own mind. But please don't give your power away, and please don't stay stuck in this rabbit hole and lose hope or feel like it's all pointless anyway because everything is doomed. That is not the case. And that is exactly what conspiracy theories can do with us. They can pull us and drag us into a very dark place. And we are not meant to be there. We are not meant to stay stuck there. We can awaken to dark truths. We can awaken to collective shadows. But we also have to reconnect with God, with our cosmic selves, with ourselves emotionally, and with our heart energy. That is the most important part. What also can happen at this stage is that besides going deep down the rabbit hole, you may also feel that your beliefs are being challenged and you are not grounded in your truth yet. So you may feel like you don't even know what's real anymore. You don't know what to believe. You don't know what's real and what's not. And you may also feel like you're alone on this path and you are the only one seeing through all these lies that we've been told. So this stage can be very lonely and very isolating because it's also not relatable for other people. They may even worry about you because you are going through such a huge internal shift and such a huge internal transformation that energetically it feels like your entire energy field is being stirred and everything changes. And even though other people cannot know that consciously, they don't understand that your energy fields are changing and that your belief systems are changing and that this is noticeable in your energy, but they feel this intangible energy around you. They feel subconsciously that you're not stable in your new beliefs, but you're also not rooted in your old beliefs anymore. So there's a lot of chaotic energy going around. So you may even find people that care about you, worry about you at this stage. Stage 3 is usually a phase of slowing down. So you feel like you're behind in life. Everyone seems to have it all figured out but you. And they are following their career paths. Some have plans to start a family, or they seem to be in happy, lasting relationships. You, on the other hand, are currently trying to figure out why there's nothing that sparks your fire and how in the world other people can be satisfied with the most boring, mundane things. So you are on the lookout for more. You are on the lookout for fulfillment, even though you don't know at that stage what that would even mean for you. When looking at other people and their plans for their lives, you may realize that they are not truly happy either, but they are following like a pattern that they've been given, and they don't question that pattern. They just follow whatever is in front of them. That is something you may notice at this stage of your awakening and what makes you think about life a lot. So you may think about, do they even know this, that they're just following a pattern that is not truly their plan, but just a societal structure, a societal roadmap? Or you may ask yourself, how do they live like this? How do they not see what's going on or what else there is, and that we are not meant to live like this. This type of questions are very common at this stage of slowing down and feeling behind in life. The fourth stage is the stage of your spirituality kicking in. You start to feel drawn to spiritual topics, and suddenly you become immersed in wanting to know more. So this doesn't always happen this way. You may have had a spiritual awakening before your Starseed awakening, but it often is connected to one another. So as you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're also going through your Starseed awakening. At this stage with spirituality, you have finally found something that excites you and that feels right and meaningful and important. And you have this new found passion for something. And you almost feel like a little bit on drugs when you first get in touch with all these topics and all these concepts that really spark your interest. And it's quite the opposite of the beginning of this journey where you felt so hopeless and powerless. This stage, this spirituality awakening stage, gives you so much hope, and it gives you perspective for living your life in a way that makes you happy and that fulfills you. So that is a stage that's usually very activating and also energetic, and you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of power, and you want to do a lot of things, you want to explore things, you're hungry for knowledge. This phase of spirituality never really stops. So you're not just going through a phase of spirituality and then you're good to go. It kind of keeps going on, and you're always learning more. You're always on this journey of self-exploration if you really commit to this life. But at one point you get to the next stage, the fifth stage, which is transcendence. What that means is that you start to transcend what is expected from you. You start to transcend the given frame of society, and you become okay with that. So you no longer feel the need to identify with one side or the other. And you realize that a lot of choices you're supposed to make, for example, like choosing what you want to study, if you want to study topic A or topic B, or voting for party A or party B in politics, that all these choices are made from a very mind-based, influenced place, that they are not made really truly from your heart and from what you believe, but that this is just an illusion of choice that you have, and that a lot of things in life are just an illusion of choice that is not really made with your entire soul. So what happens is that none of the given choices align with your heart, and this realization can make you feel a little lost. Your shadow self begins to reveal itself, and you start to get familiar with this suppressed part of you, and you begin to ask yourself, who am I really if I take away all expectations and all conditioning? Who am I then? This stage is another very challenging part of your Starseed awakening, similar to the life crisis, because it puts you into a self-identity crisis a little bit. So it's not the easiest part, but it's something that gives you a lot of opportunity to explore your shadows, to explore who you truly are, what your beliefs are, what your desires are, who you are on the deepest level. If you take away all the expectation and all the conditioning that has been happening for you in your entire life. So that is a phase of a lot of self-discovery, a lot of shadow work, a lot of feeling lost in life, but then regaining hope and regaining structure. It's not that easy, but it's a very transformative stage in your awakening. And once you've moved through that, you are entering the next stage, which is authenticity. And this is when you realize that you no longer pretend to be the person you used to think you were. What that means is that you will realize that you need to learn to be yourself in front of yourself first, and then in front of others. So this authenticity stage is a process of completely getting to know yourself. Becoming authentic is a journey that you're ready to take on, because you want to start living your truth. That is how you feel at that stage. And this process, however, takes time and it can be difficult and challenging. And like the spirituality stage, it never really stops. You can always grow more into your authenticity. You can always realign with things, with your values. You are changing and your authenticity changes, and what is true to you at that moment changes. But what I mean by this stage in this context of awakening is that for the first time ever, you realize that you may not be who you thought you were because you're thinking differently about things, you're feeling differently about things, and you are just not who others believe you to be. And this awakening for yourself that you may not be who you identify as is a very, very transformative experience. It gives a lot of opportunity. It gives the opportunity for your life to go into any direction that you want because you allow yourself to detach from any conditioning and from any expectations and to grow into your fullest authenticity, to fully follow what feels right for you and not what is expected of you or what feels right for your mom or for your family or for your boyfriend, what feels right for you. The universe and your cosmic self and your guides, they're picking up on this evolution. So the next stage is the stage of synchronicities. Once you have reached the stage of authenticity and you have truly questioned everything and got in touch with your inner self, you suddenly start to see synchronicities. Not because they haven't been there before, but because you are finally open to receiving the signs. You are finally open to the language that your guides can talk with you, and you finally recognize that in your physical world. So at this stage of synchronicities, there are signs everywhere. You start to be in touch with your cosmic self. That is very exciting. And the connection might not be super strong yet, but simple things like synchronized numbers, like 1111 on your phone or on your microwave, whatever it is, or little coincidences seem to happen whenever you're living as your most authentic self. So whenever you're tapped into this new version of yourself that is not fully here yet, that is not fully born through you yet, but whenever you tap into that new potential of yourself, you're seeing a lot of signs that this is the right way, that you are aligned with a higher aspect of yourself. And energetically, that's what actually happens. These signs and these synchronicities only come through to you and you recognize them because you are aligned with your cosmic self. You are aligned with a frequency that is closer to your cosmic self and to your higher aspects than it's ever been. That's why you see so many signs. These signs and synchronicities are not just nice to have, they actually give you hope and they help you to understand that you are on the right track. So with that, you are entering stage 8, which is purpose. You realize that you must have a higher purpose, that living life like most people do is not what you came here to do. It becomes way easier for you to disconnect from old habits and the person you used to be and from things that are no longer authentic for you. And you shed many, many, many layers of your false self, and you're more authentic with yourself than you've ever been. This is also the stage where a lot of people naturally change their style, or they naturally wear less makeup or just become more of who they truly are as their own expression. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to become supernatural and no longer wear makeup, but whatever makes you feel most naturally connected to yourself. This could also be a very self-expressive style that expresses your vibrant soul. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that you no longer wear makeup or no longer wear clothing that you used to wear, but whatever that means for you, it's a stage where you often make a physical change to your body and to your self-expression that feels more authentic. At this stage, you also slowly but surely stop caring what other people think, and you even take on the spiritual weirdo label with pride. You no longer care if that is what you're being called, if people think you're weird, or if your beliefs are weird, if what you do is weird. You're okay with that because it feels right and you are connected to your own truth. Basically, you start to stand in your power as someone who has transcended the illusion, which still have a strong grip on those who laugh about you. That is exactly what I meant in the beginning. If someone doesn't understand your spiritual awakening and they're like, haha, she's crazy, don't let that get to you, because they literally cannot understand it. You don't have to bully these people or be mean to them, but also don't give your power to them. If they want to make fun of you, let them make fun, or stand up for yourself and tell them it's not okay. But don't let yourself be irritated by that, or your beliefs being shaken up by that, because they literally have not experienced what you are currently experiencing. Stage 8 is called the stage of purpose because you usually begin to look for your purpose and for your mission. And you know that you have a higher calling, you feel that intuitively, and you're actively looking for that. But it most likely feels like you're just swimming in a huge ocean and you don't know what direction to take and where to begin with finding your purpose, finding out what you want to do, finding out what even is calling you. There is just this unidentifying energy within you that wants to be expressed, and you cannot really make sense of it, but it's the longing to find your purpose. So most of my clients, they come to me when they are at this stage. They are in the stage of finding their purpose, of finding out what they truly want to do, of finding out what their higher calling is and how they can tangibly make that work in a way that allows them to live on earth in a financially stable situation, in an emotionally stable situation, and in an overall happy state. That is when a lot of them come to me, and that is when a lot of the exploring of your Lightworker mission begins. All these topics are very, very intertwined. So your spiritual awakening, your Starseed awakening, your Lightworker awakening, all of these are very, very connected, and they cannot be completely separated. So even though I'm telling you these are the stages that you're moving through, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is exactly how it's going to be, because it's influenced by also how you are awakening spiritually, how you are awakening to the fact that you are a light worker that has a mission here on earth and that needs to find a way to fulfill that mission. All of this plays into it. But this overall energy and the overall journey is very similar for a lot of people. I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands, of starseeds over the last couple of years, and ever since I'm public with my spiritual content. And we're all going through the same shit. I went through that. You went through that. You're currently going through it. I'm currently going through it, because it never truly stops, but it gets easier and easier because you are becoming more aligned with what you're meant to do here. So at one point, you will come to this realization, which is stage 9, that after living your lifestyle for a while, you realize there's so much more to it. There is so much more than just crystals and tarot cards and breathing and living in the moment. All that you've done so far, every experience, every choice, every hardship has brought you to this moment of realization. We are not just humans, we are cosmic beings. And you are ready to fully connect. That's what usually happens after this Starseed awakening. You become okay and very open to more wisdom, to a true awakening, to an ascension process. You are ready to expand and find your truth, and also follow your truth, and also make all the physical, tangible changes in your life so that you can follow your path. So the things that felt unimaginable before, like quitting your job or starting a spiritual career, things like that, they become very real. They become very highly sought after by you. You really want to do this and you really want to have this life. And if you look back at your journey, you're like, how did I get here? How did I gain all this confidence and this transformation to be at the point where I still might be scared about these steps, but I'm willing to take them? And that is when you realize, wow, you are ready to fully connect. You are ready to fulfill your mission. And there is no such thing as crazy for you anymore. Because the truth that resonates with you deeply now would have been crazy for your old self who still looked at everything through the layers of illusion and through the layers of conditioning. So what happens with you is that you dive into your own authenticity so deeply that it transcends the humanness in you. You connect with a part of you that is cosmic, that is not of this world. And that is such a deep part and such a deep truth in your soul that you are ready to make the changes in your human physical life because you want to be in contact and in alignment with that part that you've discovered in yourself for your entire life. You don't want to waste away in the system. You don't want to waste away in a 9-to-5 or in anything really that makes you feel like you're wasting your precious time here on earth. And that is the realization that you get to when you move through the Starseed awakening. And it's also the confidence that comes with it. I'm not saying you'll be 100% confident to tackle all your dreams and to go after every desire you have after you have gone through a Starseed awakening or any kind of awakening process. But there is enough confidence that has been ignited in you for you to at least think differently now, for you to at least consider the possibility of your life aligning in a way that actually feels fulfilling. So I believe a lot of the rooted in the cosmos souls on here are at this stage right now. You are aware that you have a higher calling. You are aware that there is more out for you and that you have to be the one to initiate that and to take action. But you may also be scared of that because it's completely outside of your comfort zone. You feel unprepared. You feel like you lack clarity, and it goes against everything you've ever been taught because following your intuition is way more chaotic and less structured than following a given plan, following a plan that has been made by others, and you're just obeying to that plan. So as some final words, I want to congratulate you to be at this stage. Because even if you don't feel ready now, even if you don't feel 100% ready, you have made such a huge transformation already. And you have gotten to this point where the possibility of turning your life around and following your true calling is right around the corner. I want to encourage you to take action, to keep following your heart, to keep following your intuition, and to know that you are protected and guided by your own higher aspects, by your guides, by so many forces that you may not be aware of, because all of you, all of your soul, all of your guides, all of your cosmic self wants you to succeed in your mission. That is the reason why you came here. Not the only reason, but a big reason why your soul incarnated on this earth, to follow this mission, to follow your calling, and to find ways to make it tangibly possible in this world. So that being said, as you already know if you're listening to this podcast, the Cosmic Wanderers Mentorship starts in July, at the end of July. And we are moving through this process. If you are at this stage right now where you feel like you have gone through some sort of awakening and you are at this crossing road of, do I go back into my comfort zone or do I actually align with my true path now? That is exactly where I meet you, where we will figure out what to do, how you can start, how you can start aligning with your true path and following your higher calling, and also how that can tangibly work in your life right now, how you can turn that into your business, into your career. It doesn't necessarily have to be overnight, so you can have a transition period where you just slowly dive into your spiritual career. But the most important part is that you are committed to doing it and that you take the jump and actually take action. Otherwise, you will dream about this for the next 2 years. After that, you're not more confident than now. You will again be afraid to take the leap. You will not have more clarity, and you will wait another 3 years, wasting away in a career that doesn't fulfill you. And you still haven't improved your confidence or the clarity around this. Because the sad part is, or like the exciting part, it depends on how you look at it, You can only find the clarity if you're moving through the very thing that is unclear. The muddy waters need to clear as you're swimming in them. And that is something that a lot of people don't realize. They think they need to start taking action when they exactly know what they're meant to do, when they have the clarity to know this is my path, this is what I'm going to do. And this is just not how it works. I promise you that. You need to trust yourself enough to believe that you can make it work if you commit and if you have support. And if you truly want to make this work, it's gonna work out. But the initial jump is scary. I'm being so transparent here because I've had so many conversations with potential clients who ended up being clients, but they had so much fear around accepting help. They were afraid that they would not get out of this experience what they hoped for. They were afraid that the Cosmic Wonders mentorship would not be able to teach them how to step into their leadership and how to tangibly start a spiritual business. They were held back by the fact that they didn't know what exactly they wanted to do. So they expected from themselves, I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know I want to become a yoga teacher, or I need to know I want to become a feminine embodiment coach. And none of that is necessary because the path becomes clearer as you walk on it. And with my help and with my support, you are moving through so many clarity practices and so many steps that make it so crystal clear for you what you are meant to do here. Your divine mission is nothing you choose. You're not choosing to be a yoga teacher now. If that's not part of what you're truly meant to do here, you are discovering that you are meant to be a yoga teacher, or that yoga is part of your business in your own way. So it's not about deciding what you want to do and deciding I'm clear with this now. It's about going through the process of finding the clarity that you need to uncover your soul mission. And that is exactly what we do in my mentorship. We are uncovering your divine mission. We are creating the clarity for you to know these are my next steps. This is what I can offer. And here's how I create it. And here's how I market it. That being said, as always, I hope this was valuable for you and helpful for you. And no matter where you are on your journey, feel free to leave a comment on YouTube. Feel free to reach out via email. My DMs on Instagram are always open, so let me know if there's anything you need support with, or if you feel stuck on your journey and you need help getting unstuck. Whatever it is, I'm happy about your messages. You can send me a DM on Instagram or on TikTok. It's @IsabelGloria. You can also write an email to podcast@isabelgloria.com, and you can also comment on YouTube. It's all linked in the show notes. I hope this episode was helpful for you, and I will talk to you next Sunday.